Hey everyone, it's Rochelle, and I have something really exciting to go and show you for this little video. It's going to be a little bit of a vlog slash unhauling. So I've kind of made this apparent. I'm a huge nerd, and so we got to have a very nerdy week where one weekend we ended up going to the Ren Faire with our good friend Jacky, and then yesterday we actually went to Denver Fan Expo. So Charles and I ended up going and taking our friend Jacky with us again, and it was her first time getting to go to Denver Fan Expo. I have only been one time before this, and Charles has been a couple of times. So basically we wanted to make it a very fun experience. The past time I went to Denver Fan Expo, it wasn't the best, and a couple of times that Charles went, there were some highs and there were some lows. So basically with this trip, we just wanted it to be all around a bunch of fun, especially since our friend Jacky had never gone before. So I'm gonna go and show you some of the footage that I did go and get during these moments. First off being with the Ren Faire.
Wine slushy.
Yeah, it's an old Irish children's song.
Unfortunately, I was a little bit caught up in the moment and I wasn't able to film as much as I hoped. And then I will show you the footage that I took from Denver Fan Expo. Now, there were so many people there. I really was thinking it might be a little bit less crowded considering we went on a Friday. However, that was not the case and it was pretty packed. So I tried to get what I could. I pulled out my phone a few times to go and record like different fun moments we had. There were so many really cool dice tables that were there. So I hope you enjoy all of those things. And yeah, we're probably gonna go to the Ren Faire again after we come back from our trip. So I hope that I'm able to get more footage for y'all then. But like I said, I'm a huge nerd, so hopefully if you like nerdy things or any of this stuff, you will enjoy.
Getting ready for Fan Expo. Tommy Mommy. TM shirt.
Yup.
Yup.
Yup. No, DM shirt for the win.
Yeah.
Alright, hi friends. So we are getting ready to go to Fan Expo for Denver. We just picked up Jacky and we're all decked out. I have my Dommy Mommy of Avernus shirt for Karlak from BG3. Heck yeah, I got my bracelets. And yeah, I'm so excited. I've been to Fan Expo once in the past, but unfortunately it wasn't the best experience and it wasn't really the full experience. Like, it was just not great. So I'm very excited to get to do this with Charles. Charles is wearing his DM shirt, like Anatomy of DM, and then Jacky is wearing her Choose Your Weapon shirt. So we look like a bunch of nerds and I'm so here for it. But yeah, I'm gonna try my best to get a lot of footage. Also have some N95 masks in the back. But yeah, we're just stopping to grab some food because Charles and I were a little bit behind this morning. We were staying up late because of the fireworks and we needed to let Nuggie go potty, but because fireworks were getting set off, she was really nervous. So yeah, we are ready and I am so excited. I will keep you posted and I hope you enjoy the footage. Bye.
Hi, Jacky.
And now you're in her YouTube channel.
Yep.
Hi.
Made cameos. Alright, so now the fun part. We are going to go through all of the items that I ended up going and getting while we were at Fan Expo, or Denver Fan Expo. Like I said, there were so many people there, and Charles and I were talking about it later about how we definitely understand why some people take multiple days to go to Fan Expo, and that's because it's just, you can't get everything done in one portion. Like, we were walking through all the different tables and stands, and then when we finally got to our alley, we were kind of running on fumes at that point, you know, walking on the cement grounds and everything like that. We didn't even go to any panels, so there was just a whole lot, and we probably only experienced a small portion of it, but it was still a very amazing portion. So with that being said, I'm gonna start showing you some of the different things that we ended up going and finding. So first off, I'll go and show you the cute little badge that we had. So this one was the badge that is for a specific day. We did not end up getting the badge that let you come for more than one day. So we got this cute little Frankenstein on there. So yeah, really cute badge. And I love the fact that, you know, we get to keep these because I think it's a really great souvenir to have. And I'm probably gonna put it somewhere back on my bookshelf. I'm gonna go with one of the items that Charles ended up going and getting. It was probably one of the first few purchases that we did at Denver Fan Expo. So hopefully you're able to kind of see it, but it's this really beautiful dragon design that's on a coffee mug. And as you can see, they're kind of rainbow colors, but it is so gorgeous. And Charles is a huge fan of dragons, so when he saw this, he was like, I have to get it. And the options were basically between this one and like a larger, almost like a Stanley Cup sized, that had the same design as this one, but we're like, yeah, I think you should go with this one. It will probably keep your coffee warmer for longer compared to the other one. So yeah, it is so cool, and he was very excited about this. Then at that same stand, they had, I believe they also had dice there, and they were running a few campaigns, and we got this little pin as well. All right, so then we got this cute little druid pin, and I don't know for sure if it's gonna focus. I don't want it to focus on me. I want it to focus on this. Focus on this. There we go. So then got this cute little druid pin. So anytime that we play D&D, I tend to pick a character that is a druid, and that kind of goes back to my days of playing World of Warcraft. And when I played World of Warcraft, I was usually on Alliance, and I played a Night Elf Druid. So Druids always just have a special place in my heart, mostly because I love animals, I love nature, and so when I saw this pin, I was like, ooh, I really want this one. They had it as a keychain, but the colors just weren't as vibrant. I can't really remember the order of the other stands that we went to, so I'm just gonna kind of go through everything else. So we found these really cute, like, Eevee mystery bags, and we picked up a couple of these, one for Charles and one for myself. and I can't remember whose is whose, so I'm just going to show you both of them. Oh, this one, so this is the one I originally got, which is Flareon, and I actually ended up trading with Charles because this is one of his all-time favorite Pokemon. I love all the evolutions, so I had no qualms about trading with him. But yeah, as you can see, all the ones that are on the bag were super cute, so there was no way that you could go wrong with any of them. And then this one was Charles's, and we ended up going and trading. So I got this one. And this one is Glaceon. And she's so cute. Oh my gosh. I'm not good at this whole focusing thing. Don't focus on me, focus on her. There we go. But she's so cute. And then Jacky got Espeon, which for those of you that aren't really Pokemon people, Espeon is this one in the top corner. So yeah, all of the evolutions are so cute. And I want to say that this stand might have been run by someone that was Filipino, because some of the stuff that I was seeing that initially drew my attention was some Filipino stickers. There was like Jollibee, and then there were some t-shirts and everything, but the t-shirts were $30 each, and I was like, oh, I really want a shirt, but I can't justify that price. And so we were looking around at things, and that's why we got the evolution pins. And then right when we were getting ready to leave, I was like, oh, wait, I see stickers. So before that, before we got the stickers, this was the only little Filipino keychain thing that I could find. And it's like the little Filipino sun, and has the little flag colors on its body. And it's a keychain that you put on your phone. It's a phone charm. But I figured I could probably make this into my own little keychain, and I could put it on my keys that way. That's what I felt was like the closest I could find to one of the Filipino items that wasn't a t-shirt. But then when we were getting ready to walk away, that was when I found some of the stickers that I had noticed originally on t-shirts. And so I was really excited because I got to pick them up. So this one is Ay nako, and it kind of means, loosely translated in English, oh my gosh. This was a term that I heard my mom use a lot of the time when I was growing up. I've heard family members use it, and so it just brought a lot of nostalgia. And I love that, you know, the colors of the flag are in it, the sun symbol, it made my heart so happy. And then this one says Psst, oi, and oi means kind of like hey. It's used to grab the attention of other people. And I'm sorry if, like, you know, my my Tagalog is very English, because it is. I don't speak that language, but I do know a few words and everything. But yeah, so I got a few Filipino stickers, and I really do want to get my reading journal started. I do have supplies for it finally, but with the trip that we have coming up, I just don't have time to actually do that yet. So I'm hoping that when I do start, I can put some of these stickers in there, because they make me so happy. And then at one point, Jacky actually ended up getting some mystery bags for dice. And unfortunately, the color schemes were not really colors that she enjoyed at all. And she got the same one twice. She got 2 bags. And so she gave one of the pairs to Charles and then one to myself, just because she was like, I'm never gonna use these. So yeah, they're like little orange, try to pop out of there if I can, but like little orange peachy dice. So yeah, they're very pretty. But yeah, so I have some other dice for D&D. I'm slowly building up my Dice Goblin collection. If you know, you know. I also forgot, so when I picked up those Filipino stickers, I decided I was going to also get some more Eevee stickers, because they had those as well. And I decided I was going to get Leafeon, who's also one of my favorite evolutions. Like I said, I love all of them, but if I had to pick a favorite, Leafeon would probably be one of the top ones. And then I also had to get Espeon as well. They were just so cute. This was actually from one of the first few stands that we went to, and I thought it was just, you know, like cooking spices, stuff like that. And then Charles called me over and he's like, no, they have tea. And so one of the ones we got was Dryad's Tea. That's the company's name. And then the tea itself is Druid's Dream. And so what it has in it, apples and cinnamon pair well with other fruits to create a sweet blend that reminds of apple cider. Druids of many types enjoy this brew. Some say it reminds them of the forest they know and love. And I actually had some of this morning and it was so cozy and delicious. I added just like a little bit of honey into it and it was amazing. So I'm very glad that this place actually has a website so that I can maybe go and check out some of their other teas. When I was smelling them, I had my mask on, so it was kind of difficult to really like smell everything fully, but this one, the smell popped out and it just reminded me of fall in a cup or in a scent. So yeah, I really love this one. So then at one of the other stands, we were kind of looking at some of the jewelry they had. I also really loved this booth because they had more cushioning flooring, and like I said, Denver Fan Expo was mostly on cement, so it really started to wear on our feet and I was struggling. So when we walked in that place, like not only was the booth really well set up and was gorgeous and very pleasing to the eyes, but it also had some really cool rings. And so we were looking at rings and everything, and Charles actually was able to get this one for free as a gift. Okay. Now it's kind of showing it, but it's basically like this little dragon, and you can go and adjust the ring size. But something to keep in mind is, like with rings like this, you don't really want to bend them or warp them too much because that will go and lessen the durability of the band and it will eventually go and break. So the lady, she kind of went and extended it so Charles could try it on because his fingers are a little bit bigger. And then she's like, you know what, I stretched it enough, you can have it. So yeah, Charles got his own little dragon ring and it's very cute. It kind of reminds me of, I think it's Dratini, Pokemon. Just really showing my nerdiness here. Now we also got a crap ton of business cards, and basically our reasoning for doing that was because we had a budget, we couldn't overspend, we were trying to be very careful, but there were still so many great booths and stands, and so many of the vendors were just the nicest people ever. So we took a bunch of their business cards so we could go and check out their stores later at a different time, or maybe go there to their stores for gifting for friends, because there were a lot of different friends that we thought of while we were walking through some of these booths, and we're like, this person would love this person would love this. So here are a bunch of the business cards that we saw, and I would highly recommend maybe going and freezing and taking a photo of this so that if there's a store that piques your interest, to definitely check it out. There were so many stands that had a bunch of dice, and I can't even say how much I love some of these dice. Like I wanted to get one of each, especially at one of the stands that we stopped at, because all of them were stunning. So when I say that it was really hard to hold back, it was very hard to hold back, but still so much fun. And then lastly, I know that I was on a book buying ban. You know, we talked about this in a few videos, especially when I had my last book haul. And, you know, I kind of forgot that there's books at Denver Fan Expo. You know, I remembered that there were comics, but I forgot that there actually were authors as well. In my defense, when I last went to Denver Fan Expo, I didn't really get to explore Art Alley, so I didn't know about all the authors that were there. I remembered the comic books, but not the authors. So yeah, I had to ask Charles if we could break my book buying ban. And since we're also going to be going on vacation soon, he's like, okay, we'll dissolve it for now. But I do plan on challenging myself, just maybe not for the month of July. So we'll go with the first one. So the first author, which was where we actually broke my book buying ban at, was Rachel Renner. And I first learned about her through TikTok because she has this one book here called Inked. And with this story, it basically is this character that she does these tattoos, but I guess there's magic in them that depend on your blood type. And when I saw these books originally, I was drawn to the cover, and then I saw how the inside, I believe the table of contents, also has like color codes. It's so beautiful. The colors are just absolutely stunning. So when I saw the author there, I was like, okay, we gotta stop. And then we had some chats with her and everything, and I was just like, I really want to get a book. Now, I would have gotten Inked because, like I said, absolutely gorgeous. But when there was the last Stuff Your Kindle day that I think popped up randomly, I ended up going and getting a digital copy of that. So I was like, ooh, as much as I want to get that, I'd rather get some of her books that I don't own yet. So that was what I did. So the first two I got are actually a duology. So the first one is The Girl Who Talks to Ashes, and then the second one is The Boy Who Lurks in Shadows. So with this one, basically the main character has a peculiar form of epilepsy, and every time her eyes glaze over, terrible things happen. Flowers shrivel, food goes to rot, and even Willow's long auburn hair turns stark white. And I just thought this was so interesting, and as you know, I like any books that have any sort of disability representation, and I don't think I have a book with a character that has epilepsy in them. And they sounded a little bit like apocalyptic in a way for me, or end of the world type of stuff, and we know that's a guilty pleasure of mine. So I was like, I really want to read this one, and the author talked me into picking up the second one as well. She said this is one of her favorite pieces that she's most proud of, and so she's like, can I just convince you to pick it up? And I was like, yes. So we got those, and then this is actually going to be a book that comes out soon. I think either this month or next month, but it's The Bone Whisperers Chronicles, a complete duology. And the cover of this one is also beautiful, but she put some little images of those in the books. And I also got her to sign her books as well, which is awesome. I've never really been able to like go to an author signing or anything like that, and anytime it has happened, it's been completely by chance. And oh my gosh, if you get the opportunity, I highly recommend doing it because they're just the kindest people ever. And I know, you know, like they're trying to get you to dive into their worlds, but just the interactions that you have with them are so genuine and so nice. So yeah, anytime you come across small authors or anything like that, highly recommend talking to them. Then the other book I got from her is The Awakening. It's a part of the Lightning Conjurer series, and this one deals with elemental magic. And Jacky, my friend that went with us, she actually picked up this book as well, and while Charles and I were busy going and doing a photo opportunity, which I will show you a photo of, because I totally forgot to explain that one, but she actually started reading the book, and I think she got to page 60 while we were doing that. And then when we were driving back home from Denver Fan Expo, she was reading it in the car, and she's like, it is so good. So I'm very excited to go and pick these up, and I'm hoping that maybe I can go and connect with the author, because I found out she's also from Colorado as well. And yeah, nerdy little bookworm heart is like, hey, hi, I was really excited to meet you. So yeah, here's those books. And I just have to say again, like the covers of these are gorgeous. Like absolutely gorgeous. So like I said, Jacky was reading her copy of The Awakening while Charles and I were actually doing a photo opportunity. So we got a photo with Neil Newbon, who is the voice of Astarion in Baldur's Gate 3. And it was so awesome. Like, he was super, super nice. We didn't really get to talk to him much, but Charles was saying that he is one of the few people he knows that actually goes and like asks for your name when you're going to take a picture with them. Charles has gotten photos with Critical Role, which I'm so jealous of, but he said they were the only other people that he knows of that asked for his name first before taking a photo. So yeah, we didn't really get to talk to him too much because basically for this you had the opportunity to go and either talk to him and get an autograph or do the photo opportunity. And budget-wise, we just couldn't go and do both, so we decided we were going to go and do the photo because that was something that we felt would be a really great souvenir and something to remember on, and we could have it framed. And it was really cute too, because when we were waiting in line, there was actually a couple that got engaged, and his reaction was so cute. He's like, okay, let's do a really happy image, okay, and then now let's do like a sad, shocked one if the answer would have been no. It was really cute, and just seeing how genuine he was going and at least like getting those moments of learning someone's name in line, it was just so awesome. Great human being, and the award he got for his character Astarion in Baldur's Gate 3 was very much deserved. Then we ended up going and stopping at another author's stand. They had some books that looked really intriguing. I want to say that D&D-like, and I want to say like the world building was something that really drew Charles to it. So these were actually the author's business cards. Jacky, Charles, and I were basically going and talking to one of the women at the stand that was actually dressed up as one of the characters in one of the books, which is this one. She gave us free stickers because she said that she really loved our energy and thought we were so cool. So we got free stickers of one of the characters. But while we were talking to them, Charles ended up going and getting one of the first books in the series and also getting some really cool advice from the author himself. So this is the one that he got, which is Khyven the Unkillable: Legacy of Shadows. And so he also got this one signed, I believe. And it says, "To Charles, welcome to Noxanon," I think. Hopefully I'm not mispronouncing that. But while we were talking to that author, Charles was kind of saying some stuff about like, you know, how I do booktube, and he also did this at the other stand as well that we were at, and just kind of singing my praises, which I was like, I don't know how to really go and process this, but thank you so much. But yeah, he was kind of talking about, you know, like my booktube stuff and how I really like reading books with disability representation and everything. And the one lady's like, hold up, there's someone that we actually wrote some books with, or she wrote some characters, and she has a stand here. So right away she started pulling up like the Fan Expo map, and she was trying to look for the stand to make sure that we would go and make sure to stop at that one. So it was really cool, just like going and having these little conversations with authors or the people that were helping run the stands. You find out more little details. Not really helpful for the bank account, but just still fun nevertheless. So after we stopped at this author's booth, we then decided to kind of make a detour and weave in between stands for the art alley section, and that's when we found this next author. So the next author that we found was Kendra Merritt, and she was the one that they were saying we needed to stop by, we needed to go and talk to her, because she was someone that focuses on writing about disabled characters. And the really neat thing is that not only does she focus on having disability representation in her books, she also makes sure to have LGBTQ plus representation in her books as well. Mishaps Heroes, Magic and Misrule, they're only badass by accident. This was a series that's kind of like D&D and comedy-esque, and when we looked at these books, she actually had like different covers for the main characters that are in the story and which flags they represented, which was so neat. So yeah, Charles ended up going and picking it up, and here's some of the different characters that you see throughout it. But yeah, we were there for a hot minute because we thought she was so cool. I should also mention, so her business card, or one of the cards that she had, it says Kick Butt Girls and Kick Butt Worlds, and then the logo that she has on there. So she is in a wheelchair, and one of the things that she was telling me was that she wanted to write about characters that she could relate to because, you know, there weren't any of them present in the book she was reading. So the one that she wrote with the author that sent to us to her table, she helped with this one. So some of the characters that are also in the world that they built. But the two that I picked up, first one is by Winged Chair, and I believe this is the first one that she wrote. She has a book series that's kind of rewrites about certain fairy tales. So one that's Cinderella, one that's Red Riding Hood, Beauty and the Beast. And with this one, Maid Marian is in a wheelchair. and it says, "One of the least will make her mark on the world." And I wanted to pick up this one so that I had the first one in this series that she wrote. But like I said, it was really hard because she had so many books that were in front of her. And then the other one was Surviving Daybreak. And with this one, the main character has a prosthetic leg, has a prosthetic arm, and you know, I hear limb differences and I'm like, I have to go and get this. So yeah, this one is like, the main character crashes a ship in an alien jungle and there's a missing colony. She has to try to survive. You know, it ticked off so many things. So although science fiction isn't necessarily something I gravitate towards, you tell me that there's survival in it and sign me up. So yeah, like I said, very excited that we met this author, and she has so many really cool books that we saw there, and I really want to pick up every single one of them because like I said, not only do they have disability rep, but they also have LGBTQ plus representation in them as well, which is just absolutely amazing. So yeah, I can't wait to read these and add them to my bookshelf. Lastly, we went to a comic book stand, and there were quite a few different comic book stands, but we ended up going and glancing through this one that was there. And when I look at comic books, I kind of go through, do they have Poison Ivy? Do they have Harley Quinn? And is it one that interests me? Or do they have the Gotham City Sirens books? Now, I've told you that I have a bunch of Poison Ivy comic books. I will get my collection together one of these days to show y'all. But yeah, so we were kind of looking through them all. And this one was one that I heard about from Becca Reads, I believe is her channel. And it's called Fantasy Heartbreaker. And I believe with this one, it involves kids that play a game that's very similar to D&D, and they kind of disappear and then come back, but then one person is still missing and they're kind of supposed to go back and play this game. It kind of reminds me of the newer Jumanji movies that have come out with these people that have to play these games that they get brought back into. It doesn't really remind me of the Robin Williams version of Jumanji. Let me clarify that. But yeah, when I first learned about this one, it really interested me and seemed like something that Charles would like to read. So I've had it kind of waiting on my wish list for the holidays. But when I saw it there and the price they had, they also had really great sales at this booth. So we ended up going and getting a copy of it. And then Charles really likes this one comic series for the Rat Queens. And so he found some of the next few books there. I believe this one is 4 and then 5. So he got these two versions. And I haven't read the Rat Queens yet, but he did show me a few pages, I guess, or a few quotes. And I definitely feel like I'm going to pick this up really soon and read it as well, because it sounds very interesting and something that I would enjoy. And then, I got another Poison Ivy comic. So I wasn't necessarily sure if I had this version and it was maybe just a different cover, because I did get one where, let me actually pull it out. So I actually did get this one, and I got it for Christmas. We kind of did this Secret Santa type of thing. And so I didn't know if this copy was just a different version of the copy for this one. But then luckily they had this one there as well, and I was able to look at it, and this one actually collects issues 1 through 6, and then this one has the other copies, which are 7 through 12. So I was very excited because I was able to go and get this one as well, and I really liked the cover because it has Harley Quinn. And then just to show you the back side, this is the image that's there, and then this was the one on the copy that I had already. So yeah, more Poison Ivy comics. I haven't even read this first part yet, and it's still in the plastic, so I'm gonna have to get to that soon. Yeah, I think that's everything that I have. And like I said, Denver Fan Expo was so much fun. My feet were so sore by the end of the day when we got in the car. Like, we just listened to music the whole ride back. And then once we got home, I was like, okay, I just want to shower, get into my PJs, eat, and then go to bed. So yeah, that's kind of how everything went. It was so much fun, and like I said, the authors that I met were so amazing, very much worth the breaking of the book buying ban.
especially with the representation and just the very different story themes and worlds that you're diving into. I don't know, it sounds like a lot of fun and not necessarily something that you've heard before or very common. So yeah, very excited for that. And I also really wanted to insert these clips that you're gonna see once I wrap everything up of Nugget and Cicero just curling up together. They missed us so much while we were gone, and I felt like it was just coziness encompassed to end the day on an amazing note. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that and seeing the little clips from our very nerdy week. If you're curious about those books as well, I will go and insert the authors' websites down below. I can't remember the names of some of the booths that we got some of the other stuff, so I would suggest, like, if you really want to go and find some of that stuff, maybe going and checking the business cards that I showed earlier and checking out some of those websites. But yeah, if you have a fan expo that's near you, highly recommend going, because you never know what you're gonna find, and it's so much fun to be around a bunch of other nerds. So yeah, that's all I have to say there. I'm gonna wrap up the video, and thank you so much all for watching. I'm going to be wrapping up the video here. But I love you all. You are worthy and capable of amazing things. Bye everyone. And disability is not a bad word. Bye.
Lazy Sunday mornings, hiding under covers. I don't mind staying in with you. Play your favorite movie, laying right beside me. I don't mind when it's just us two. That corner coffee shop we like to go.